about a few things.
No,
I'm not
I
have
don't
food on
hear
my shirt.
that.
Eva, please. I want to talk about a few things very briefly. Um, so I was live earlier on Facebook, and I was talking about natural Plan B options, natural birth control, because that is literally my expertise. And so let me move because my kids are so excited and living their lives, living their best lives. Um, and so, um, yes, so um, let's talk about natural birth control. So I saw was something going viral on Facebook about natural birth control, and it was not a lot of, it was very vague information, and it was not information that came from someone obviously who studied herbalism for real. It was very vague. It was very, it didn't talk about herbal pairings and different things like that. It just gave out some generic herbs that are supposed to be good for forcing menstruation, basically. And all of the herbs that were listed there were not very good, in my personal opinion. They were very some of it, like I said in my first live. I'm trying to remember exactly what I said in my first live. Some of those herbs were actually herbs that are used for fertility, which is the opposite of what Plan B is supposed to do, right? So imagine getting on Facebook and reading, a post, and said post um, is telling you to take certain herbs, and those herbs are to actually help you have babies. Like, for instance, one of the herbs on there was wild yam. Wild yam really used and is known for, in particular, to not only to increase fertility, but to increase your chances of having multiples. So imagine getting on Facebook and seeing a post about, girl, this is what you can take for Plan B and you got twins. Like, that is not the life you want to live. That is not the life you want to live. So, if you do want to utilize herbs for Plan B and other types of things, you thank you so much. You definitely need to get with an indigenous herbalist, and not somebody that took a class on Udemy and maybe has a few herbal books, or is playing around on Chat GPT. Although I love me some Chat GPT, I love me some Chat GPT, but that's just not. It was just, child, it was just not giving what it needed to give. She did. I went back and I looked at the person's post. She did mention wild carrot seed, which is highly effective, and that's actually one of the main herb that I use in my Lady Nectar tincture, right? So, again, prior to off with Trump, and this is part of why I don't care about elections, don't care about who gets elected and who's not. We already got what we need. Like, I don't really care. I'm seeing on TikTok there's this phenom of black women um basically saying, we taking our hands off. That must be something that's just going through telepathically, because I literally just made a post about me being like, just having a lot of apathy and not caring about really much of anything at this point that doesn't have to do with my livelihood or my kids' livelihoods. I really honestly don't care. I got off the Mammy train a long time ago. Um, a long time ago. Like, so I don't, I don't kiss ass at all. Um, at all. I really try to be a good, kind person, but I really, I'm very much focused on what is best for me and my offspring. Other than that, I really couldn't give a fuck, honestly. Really don't. Um, Again, as I stated before, my last live, my ancestors have been in America for a long time, and I'm alive, and I have also been able to reproduce. Like, we've been here a long time, so I don't really see my, I don't have a fear about going on outside of like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I think I said it in my last video. I can't really find the fuck to care about it, let alone be fearful and to whine about it on social media. Like, some of y'all was on social media crying. And like I said in my last video, please go see it because that's crazy. Okay, anyway, so what else I wanted to talk about? Something else that came up that I wanted to talk about. And I'm trying to remember. 'Cause I'm about to go and go do something real quick. Yes, racism. I don't want to talk about racism. So, one of the things that really chaps my ass about Black people is this constant confusion about white supremacy and how it works, right? One of the spiritual teachers that I love and follow, and who has made very large, her teachings have made very deep changes within my life. Her channel is Got the number 2 Be Oshun, Got to Be Oshun. Her formal name is the Eolosha Oshinyemi Akalatunde. You can find her here on YouTube. She's amazing on levels that I can't even describe. So there's that. I've learned a lot from her. And one of the things that she talks about very frequently is a term that was quoted and created, by Janelle Hobson, with Hobson, I believe, Hobson, I think her name is, but Janelle Hobson, I believe is her name. And she is a scholar and author, and basically she says what most people call racism, white supremacy, or what Neely, which is a amazing teacher that I learned from, that I'm going to re-mention. He calls it white supremacy, racism, white supremacy. Janelle Hobson calls it white masculinist imperialism, right? Which I do like that term better because it's more detailed and makes more sense, right? Okay. So this system that we live in, okay, and the BS that we deal with in society, in this system that we live in, right? So if you do not understand this system, this is a quote from Neely Fuller. If you do not understand racism, white supremacy, and how it works, everything is going to confuse you. Everything. So when your grown ass is getting on the internet crying about America doing what America does, like, this is what America has always done, I am very clear that you do not understand how the system works. And that is actually lethal for you. It's fatal for you to not know how it works, because you're not going to teach your children how it works because your ass don't know how it works. You don't know how racism, white supremacy work. You don't know how white masculinist imperialism, you don't know how any of this works. You just, things happen and you react to them because you don't know how the system works. You can't get in front of the system because you don't know how the system works. So whenever there is a situation that involves racism, you are like, oh my God, how could this happen? You don't know how it works. You don't know that 1 + 1 = 2. You don't know that blue equal purple. You don't get it. And you don't get it, it's because you haven't been taught. And you're not going to be taught, because why would this teach you this shit in school so that you can empower yourself? My ear just started ringing. Why would the system teach that so that you can educate yourself and your children so that you can potentially get free? It's not going to. However, this information is publicly available. Neely Fuller has videos all over YouTube, and you can watch them and learn. Janelle Hobson has a whole book on this. I just gave you other resources. You can listen to me, like you can listen. There are tons of leaders. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing is one of the newest, more modern teachers that talk about this. Mr. Tariq Nasheed, he talks about this in his documentaries. Like, there are people that there's people teaching this subject, but people are not paying attention because Black people, for whatever reason, are focusing on other shit. Okay, so if you want to stop this emotional shock of the things that happen in the society, you need to understand how this system works. And this is a white patriarchal system that you need to study and you need to understand, not only so that you can protect yourself, but that you can just move through life easier. I don't expect white people to not act like white people. I do not expect the system to not work how it's always worked. I expect that. Do I do things to combat some of the things in that system? Absolutely. That's part of why I'm on the system. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not, and part of why it is frustrating for myself and some of my other peers who do understand the system, because it's like being in third grade and you're with a whole bunch of people who can't, like, they're not on the same, they don't understand. Like, and so we're all moving forward. We're all going to fourth grade, but some of us understand, like, multiplication and addition and subtraction and math, but some don't. Some of us know how to read and some of us don't. And it's just, it can be very frustrating because people are not understanding how the system of white supremacy works. Like, that's the issue. Like, you don't understand how this system is moving. Okay. So, like, being surprised that white women voted for Trump, that should not be surprising for you. And there are a lot of other, there are a lot of teachers out here, and they're trying to explain this, and they're trying to be very poised and very tactful. It's fine. Okay. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the poise. However, it just is what it is. And I think that people need to understand, as Black people that are living in the system, you have, like, we are different, like, in a lot of ways. And so trying to merge systems or merge mental states, trying to conform, trying to do things without knowing where you are, like trying to operate in a way without knowing without knowing what life really is like out here in these streets. And it breeds a naivete. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can get by in this world without knowing how to read. You really can. It's people who do it every day. It's all about the grown ass people who cannot read, right? And they go life and they live, right? But imagine how much better their life would be if they were actually literate, right? And so that's the problem with Black people. Black people are not ethno-socially literate about what's going on here in the country and what has been going on in this country. It's like Black people want to keep doing this little song of like, please accept us, please, 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 with no agenda, with no plan, without knowing how this system works, and trying to do things aren't going to work because of the type of system that we're in. You know what I'm saying? You can't bring a soccer ball on a basketball court. You can't. Sorry, you just can't do it. And so that if you really want to understand out of this state of being fearful, and my children are coming in here ready to harass me as usual. But if you don't study those things and you don't really understand, like, it took me studying to really understand these systems and understand how it worked. Now I'm not really surprised by nothing that white people do ever. I am not ever surprised by shit white people do. I expect them to do certain things because of that. Even when I don't expect it, when they do something that's crazy, I'm not surprised, for real. So all that to say, it would behoove you to study Dr. Frances Welsing. Come on, mommy. What is this? What is this? Eva, what your sister got in her hair? Kids. But I would highly suggest that you study these things if you want to stop being reactionary state to the things that occur in America and beyond, because it's not just here. But that is why Black folks put their pants down. This is why Black people keep getting embarrassed. This is why Black people keep getting by shit. It's because you have not sat down and watched one Neely Fuller video or read the ISIS papers. You don't know who Dr. Frances Cress Welsing is. You ain't never seen the hidden colors, nothing. So you don't even like, and I know there's like probably dozens of more books and educators and philosophers and just reading material that you could probably glean from that I'm just not privy to. I'm telling you what I know of, and I know what's good to just strictly learn about, no ma'am, about the system and how it works. So now I'm going to focus on my daughter not eating a permanent marker because that's what she is trying to do. And I'm going to continue to take care of my children. But I wanted to make that point because that's going to always be the downfall of Black people. And every time I see a Black person say something where I see they are just straight out confused, I'm just going to give them the link. Okay? And I really do mean this with love. It's just I hate that. I hate to see Black folks get to be 30 and 40 years old and they don't understand and beyond. And they don't understand how this system works. And they don't know there are tools out here so that you can actually read up on this stuff and not remain like confused. Okay? Like there's really nothing to be confused about. Like Dr. Chris Wellstein broke this down so eloquently, so well. Really, you could listen to her. You could really listen about herself, and she could probably teach you everything that you want to know. She's actually a student of Neeler, so a lot of these people have learned from one another. But they're great. They're great resources for you to learn this stuff because you really have to teach your kids these things so that they can know how to navigate this system. Okay, so yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I'm closing. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Peace. Girl, what are you doing down there? That's what I want to know.